All right, we got a good day on the Endless Hustle as I'm joined by Bachelor Nation favorite, new, soon-to-be best-selling author, Tyler Cameron. Congrats on the new book, my man. You deserve better. Got to be awesome to have this thing out finally.
Oh man, I'm so stoked. It's been such a fun time. We've done some great shows, had some awesome events, and it's been a fun week. So it's a lot of hard work, and it's all come to fruition now, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, so where does the whole process start for you? Writing a book ain't easy. Where does it start for you?
It was kind of start off with a conversation with me and my agents. Like, you ever thought about writing a book? I was like, no. I mean, my English teacher thinks I couldn't even write a 5-page essay, and so we had to sit down and kind of start thinking about it. And then I was like, what the hell am I going to write a book about? And I started kind of thinking about, what I kind of got all this praise for. I was like, I was drinking the Kool-Aid at first, I'm like, Tyler Cameron, oh, you're this feminist icon, this and that, and respectful woke king, all that stuff. I was like, well, really what I did is what I hope any guy would do for any girl. I hope my brothers would do for a girl. This is like, just respect them, treat them with, honor and take care of them, look out for them. And that's kind of what I did on the show, and everyone freaked out about it. I was like, well, the dating culture is kind of messed up right now, it sounds like. So I was like, maybe if we can write this book, we can have a lot of conversations about consent and a lot of these things that need to be talked about again, I feel like.
Did the kid who played football at Wake Forest ever think that in his wildest dreams, the words feminist icon would be connected to him?
No, not at all. The kid at Wake Forest was such a knucklehead, you know what I mean? And so he was definitely not that, and but he had to learn, he had to stumble, he had to, rumble his way through and figure it out the hard way, So part of writing this book is like, I want my little brothers to not have to go through what I went through. I want the younger kids to not do what I did, like take my lessons and my mistakes as lessons and learn from them and don't repeat them,
So I want to take you all the way back, pre-Bachelor days, pre all this fame, pre all this great stuff.
Yep.
You're a kid in college, you're a football player. That's my dream. I played college basketball, but I played D3, so I don't even know if that counts.
Damn.
But when you kind of hit that D1 level, you're playing football, you're talking about getting banned by sororities because you're sleeping around too much. Tell me about that kid. And as you look back on that kid, what do you see?
Well, so that kid was a very impressionable kid. He had really no good, mentors or leaders above him. I remember being in the locker room, and hearing all these guys talk about, oh yeah, hooked up with this girl, hooked up with that girl. So I was like, so that's what a man is. You know what I mean? I was like a freshman, and I'm talking about like high school, going back to then. I'm in the varsity locker room hearing these seniors talk about like what's cool and what's not. And I'm like, I guess that's what it is, And so I kind of went that route, and I learned like that's so unfulfilling and that's so not what it is. That's not what being a man is. And I learned that, once I got in a relationship, like that responsibility and that kind of respect and that kind of, like bond that you build with somebody, that's what it's about. That's what being a man is. And so that kid in college was just a knucklehead that was just, taught by those who should be teaching him. I learned from the wrong people, and I did have some good people around me, and I was like, nah, you don't know what you're doing. You're not having fun, But they were really doing the things that they're doing the things now that I wish I was doing, back then.
I've had friends on both The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and there's few fan bases and few levels of fame that can really compete with that because it's so watched by everybody in the country. And whether you're a contestant or the Bachelor, Bachelorette, people really connect with you. I think there's a bond because you're an average Joe or Joette and they connect with people that are like them. But they always tell me you can never be fully prepared for when you go on that show, how it changes your life. No. So you end up becoming this fan favorite. Could you have ever kind of conceived what the heck was going to happen for you?
No shot at all. I always made the joke. I made the joke before going on the show with my buddies, like, I'm going to get second, I'm become the Bachelor, And like, careful what you're speaking to the existence because it happens. I got second and I got offered it, but I was just like, nah, I'm not right. This is not my world, And but like, it's life changing. I'm sitting right now in an apartment in New York City when I was like in this little, bummy kid from Jupiter, Florida, who was just trying to scrape up a couple bucks, And now, I'm very thankful and grateful. But it is a testament to the fan base. Like, they love you, they're strong, and if you're good to them, they're good to you, And then they'll hold you accountable too. And so, but as long as you are good to them, they'll be good to you, and a lot of great things can happen.
How the heck did you turn down being the Bachelor? I would have been like, where do you need me to sign up? I'll do it for free. I'm famous for the next 10 years. Like, I'm in, here's my signature, forge it, do what you need.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I just thought, I was at a point where I was like, you know what? I had some stuff going on at home. Like my dad was kind of sick again, and that was kind of what was pushing me towards doing it, honestly, because I need money in case something happens to him. But really, my heart wasn't it. My heart was just, like I want to see what the world has to offer me now, And so I just kind of took a gamble on myself and went, and took my own way, and it's worked out, I think.
So when you're in that bubble, do you have any understanding of what's happening in the outside world? Like, do you realize that like millions of people either like you or dislike you, are cheering for you, not cheering for you? Like, do you know what the heck's happening?
You have zero clue. You don't have access to a phone. You don't have access. I remember like going to the producers like, hey, I need to email, my job and make sure everything's good. I didn't have a job. You know what I mean? I was working for my dad doing construction, So I was like, I'd go email, hey, like email my mom, like, what's going on? Like, I'm in Latvia. Like, hope everyone's good. Like, let me know what's going on with everybody. I shared my email like a week later, same thing, But like besides that, I had no idea what was going on in the outside world. It was, I think it was like March Madness was starting, and so like that was like, I couldn't even watch that.
What is it like? Because listen, we're in New York. I was talking to one of my best girlfriends last night. We were at dinner here in the West Village, and dating in New York is the most disposable culture. You're hot one minute, you're dumped the next. It's awful. But when you're in that bubble, what is the actual dating experience like? I mean, do people really fall in love? I know you write in the book about how you really fell in love with Hannah, but how does that kind of build so quickly?
Yeah, no, I think the dating world there is like you push yourself so much because like, you have to like go for it. You kind of look past a little bit of some of the red flags, like you say, oh, I can figure that one out. You know what I mean? But you also have to communicate so quickly. You have to put everything on the table, get everything out there right away, and kind of just go off of that. And but like they just go so fast, and like they push you the most luxurious dates and the craziest scenarios, and so it kind of makes it all fun and crazy. But I had a saying that I always believed in. I write about in my book, and my football coach taught me. It says, "Be where your feet are." And it's so, and what he's saying is like, we'd be in the stadium at University of Florida playing in front of 90,000 people. It'd be so easy to just like look up, like, wow, and forget what you're doing. And I say that be where your feet are in those scenarios with dating on that show, because it could be so luxurious and cool, but when the show stops, it's not as luxurious as this is. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of reel it in and be like, what's really real here and what's not.
So you come off the show and now you've got to probably understand, shit, millions of people are in love with me. I'm this fan favorite. Then you have the Hannah and Gigi thing happen. You're all over the tabloids every single day. How does this kid from Jupiter, Florida process all that fucking shit going on?
Man, it was drinking through a fire hose. It was way too much going on. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know what paparazzis were. Like, I thought paparazzis went to like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, and not Jimmy Joe from Jupiter, Florida. And so it was just a whole learning experience, a whole adjustment, how to learn how to navigate and move differently, to try and understand what I was doing. And it was definitely a big learning curve to all that.
Are you observing it from kind of the outside looking in and like, this is my 15 minutes of fame, but I've got to make a career out of this? Are you kind of just relishing the moment? Like me personally, I think about if that happened to me, I'd be relishing it. Like this is the coolest shit ever. But I think, if you're a smart guy or girl, you're also probably thinking, how do I use this platform for what my next steps are going to be? Is that kind of how you were looking at it?
You definitely try and figure out ways to like, what's the next move? How do I take this and grow from it? But then you also got to relish in it. Like you got to, my dad always says, you need to get down on your knees and pray at night and be thankful because like, look at how much your life has changed. It's so true. Leaving last night and after my talk and having all the fans outside the gates waiting for me to leave, I'm like, this is so unreal. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a world I never expected. And so for that, it's just like, you got to relish in it a little bit and take it in and be like thankful for it. But then you got to get back to work, and try and see what you can do next and grow and see where the world can take you.
I always tell people, because I've had the privilege for over a decade of interviewing pretty much everybody on the planet. Fame is not an easy thing. Especially when you're the man or woman of the moment, it is hard to really deal with. You can't go to the supermarket. You walk in and you see a cover of a magazine, you're on it. Half the shit's fake, half the shit's probably not even in existence.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're going through that, how are you able to really process it? How are you able to like kind of just stay you, as probably women are throwing themselves at you, people are making shit up, people probably people calling you for money. How do you kind of process all those avenues happening?
I think two things. One, I'm thankful for my experience playing quarterback and kind of being in a little bit of a light in college, before. And then two, um, having the right people around you. I talk in my book about building your board of directors, like any other businesses, like build those around you. And I talk about, I got these people who I'll ask questions for, and I got people who are very quick to humble me as well, and because that's what my best friends do. And so they're always there to kind of be my sounding boards, kind of protect me if I'm like going through it or not, and be there for me. So that's very important, is the people you have around you.
The other thing about Bachelor fame is here today and gone tomorrow. You're one of the few that's kind of been able to maintain a pretty high level of fame with distance from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this book, and I'm sure the results of it when it sells are going to be incredible because of that. But, mental health is a huge discussion right now. We're seeing with Simone Biles, obviously Naomi Osaka, but it happens in entertainment too. So as you were beginning to distance, and now all of a sudden people care about the next Bachelor, the next Bachelorette, were there ever moments where you're like, shit, I kind of miss the fame and mental health starts kicking in? Or were you kind of happy to decompress a little from all the attention?
Yeah, there was definitely, like, you had those moments like, oh, maybe I'll hop. It's easy to just hop back in that ring of fire and go for it. You know what I mean? And be in the fame and get talked about and all that. But I think COVID was actually the best thing for me, like in terms of all that, because it sat me down, really talking about what's important, what I want. And like I remember, because I at one point we had paparazzis outside our house every day during COVID, and it was complete chaos and pandemonium. And every move that we did inside and outside the house was being put all over the social media, and everyone was watching. And then I realized, like, that's fun, all, but that was so stressful. And if I'm gonna do fame, I want to do it my way, on my terms, and no one else's. And so, I got some projects I'm doing myself right now, and if they turn, they work out great. Great. And if not, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and try and build careers elsewhere.
The other end of fame is people, whether it's dating or when they meet you, they feel like they're meeting the guy they watched on TV versus who you may really be.
Yep.
How hard is it to kind of explain, like, guys, this was edited, this was produced, like, there's some of this in me, but here's who I really am? How are you able to separate real Tyler Cameron from Bachelor and Bachelorette
Exactly.
Tyler
Well, that's like a big thing. Like, everyone on social media is like, you're such a crap boy, tool bag, this, that. Like, you know what I mean? You don't take shit serious. You don't have a job. I'm like, well, y'all are so dumb to believe that person on the show is fully who I am, because you're only seeing one side of me, really, and that's me talking to a girl, right? So you're seeing me being sweet and all that, but on my Instagram, you're seeing a whole different lens of me. You're seeing, my not even fully me, but you're seeing like a whole different lens, me being goofy, funny, joking off with my friends, all that. Where as on the show, The Bachelor, you only see one really side of me.
It's true. That's actually a great point. That's got to be annoying though. I'd lose my fucking mind. Like, it'd be like, you guys don't fucking get it.
Exactly, but then you realize you're just dealing with people who don't have a clue. If they really believe in all that on the show, then they don't really have a clue.
I want to talk to you about nutrition and fitness. So I work out every single day.
Yep.
But I'm 43. Let me tell you, when you get to this age, metabolism changes. I'm watching your workout videos. I used to be in pretty much the same shape as you, but like, what the fuck are you doing to be able to stay in this kind of shape? What's the nutrition, the fitness? Like, what's the religion you're abiding by here?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been doing at home in Florida. I have a much better, regimen. And when I'm there, I get up in the morning, I train with my guys. We all get in my gym. I built like a little garage gym. I train in there. We sweat it out, and then we go to the store, Three Natives, and we get our nutrition in. And it's like a store I'm a part of now, a restaurant that we're franchising out. And I'm getting my smoothies, my green juices, and all that stuff. And big on that. So it's like, I don't like to eat salads a lot, but if I can drink a green juice, I'll chug it down real quick. And then it's just like kind of filling in healthy foods throughout the day. But I like to eat too, man. So I'm not one to turn down a burger or some ribs or anything like that. So you just got to have balance.
How dedicated do you have to be? Because you know that your brand is you being in good shape, is
Yeah.
you looking good. So how much dedication, how much of a lifestyle does it become? And then the other half of that question is, how do you kind of leverage that and turn it into a business outside of just social media?
Yeah, no, I mean, my Monday through Fridays, I'm pretty good about, staying on par with what I'm supposed to be doing. But the weekends I like to have a little bit of fun and eat a little bit and drink a little bit, as we should, right? But so I hope I can show balance is good. But yeah, no, the goal is to now find ways to change, turn my fitness, inspiration and goals and dreams into a way to make money too down the road. Maybe there's a gym that gets open down the road. Maybe it's me moving 3 Natives, a healthy, food brand, to a larger platform. Or maybe it's me, doing a subscription-based platform for workouts. Who know? I mean, I don't know yet. I haven't really put my finger on it yet, but I'm still trying to figure out what's best.
All right, so you come off The Bachelor, you're now on the cover of everything, you're famous, crazy shit's got to be happening. What was the craziest experience that you had once you came off The Bachelor where you're like, I can't believe this is happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, just like some of the parties I went to in LA and the people I was around, I was like, what in the world? Like, how did I get here? Like one of those pinch me moments. And just like the access and things that I've been able to do, it's just been incredible. So I'd ever say just being around some of the people I've been around and just like, well, this isn't Jupiter anymore.
Who was the one person who came up to you and was like, probably like, I'm a fan, and you're like, I can't, like a Beyonce or Paul McCartney or someone crazy, and you're just like, is this really happening right
Well,
now?
Jennifer Aniston walked by me at the People's Choice Awards and like said hey to me, and like I was like, how are you? Like she knew who I was. I was like, you're talking to me right now? I couldn't believe that. And so that was definitely like my number one, like, holy shit, she knows who I am.
So on the other end, opportunities have to start popping up. So you come off the show, and our agents, managers, what is the playground like once you come off the show in terms of what the next steps are? And what do you start evaluating? Because you've done hosting gigs since, but how does that all work?
Yeah, I mean, I was walking through unknown water, swimming through whatever. What's the term? Uncharted territory.
Uncharted territory, yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I had no idea what I was doing. And I had some modeling agents already before and kind of leaned on them, and they kind of helped me out a little bit. And then I was with an agent and didn't like where things were going with that agent, so I left. And then just out of nowhere, my agents popped up and hit me, and then they've been great. I'm with a great agency now, and they became great friends. And then I met my managers through them, and it's been I built a good team around me. They're part of my board of directors now.
So do the offers start rolling in at that point? Is it like, hey, Tyler, we want you to host this show, or we want you to be on that show? And then how do you decide on the yeses and nos in those situations?
Well, I kind of lean on them because they're the ones, if it sounds fun and cool, I'm always probably going to say yeah. You know what I mean? But most of the time, if I don't know what it is, which is probably 80% of the time, I have no idea what is or who is. I lean on them, and they've guided me a good way. And I mean, I'm not lying. I don't know anybody in this industry. I was in the elevator with Tina Fey. Here's the point. So I was in the elevator with Tina Fey with my agents, and everyone. That's her name, right? Tina Fey.
Tina Fey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the elevator with her, and everyone's freaking out. All my agents, like they're like you can tell, they're just like, you know, I'm just sitting there like probably picking my nose, not paying attention. And then she leaves the elevator, and they're like, "Do you know who that is?" I was like, "No." They're like, "That was Tina Fey." I was like, "I don't know who Tina Fey is," And now I do. Now I know how big she is, iconic she is. But like that's just me. I was living under a shell, and Jupiter wasn't on ESPN. I wasn't watching it.
Did you also think about, could you use that platform to go into the sports world or sports broadcasting? Was that ever a thought?
Yeah, no, we definitely, we always kind of had that thought. I feel like that's kind of something like we can always go after eventually. But we wanted to do it in a strategic time. Like there was things to do before, the pandemic, all that stuff happened. But they were like, let's wait. This is kind of like things that we can get to later. Let's try and really focus on some of the other things. But I love sports. I love football. I want to be around it. So I hope to be around some football games this fall coming up and see what I can do.
I wanted to talk to you about NIL right now, because I was thinking a lot about this, and to see college football players like Barstool's crushing it right now. And Dave and that whole team over there, they're signing every athlete under the sun and trying to figure out ways to make money with all of them. But the opportunity now as a college athlete to make money, there's kids who are going to make 7 figures in college.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about this? Because think about the level of fame you've experienced. You're a good looking dude, you're in college. And if you had this opportunity, you'd probably make some money. What are your thoughts about what we're seeing, and thinking back to young Tyler Cameron, how he would have interpreted the whole NIL situation?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's, as long as it's going to be tough to be handled correctly. It's going to be hard. I could see it causing some tension in the locker room, right? There's going to be obvious jealousy that happens when you're starting right guard and right tackle got 100 followers and they're getting 0 deals. You know what I mean? But your quarterback or your running back, the star who's getting all the touches and touchdowns, they're getting all these deals and they're making the money, So it's like, I'm busting my ass for this guy, but he's making all the deals. So, but I think the starting right guard and right tackle can't get narrow-minded and have to look at the big picture. Like, look, if I just keep blocking my ass off, I might play in the NFL, So I think they could cause a little bit of a divide in the locker room, but it just has to be handled the right way. And people just have to, it's just like the NFL. Not everyone gets brand deals, Your quarterbacks and all those people, that's how it works too. So maybe if they can kind of look at it from that lens, maybe. But I think it's going to be good for the athletes. They deserve it, But my brother's an athlete. He's got like 100,000 followers. So I'm like, yo, make that money, kid. But we'll see what happens.
He's like leveraging his big brother's fame, and
Exactly.
he's getting all the followers.
He's using it all.
The question is, are you demanding a commission, family or no family? It's like agency.
Because the more money he makes, the less I have to give him. So,
by the way, speaking of money, you start making money, obviously, coming off The Bachelor. You got the social media following, the opportunities are coming in. Financial literacy is such a big conversation right now. Mm-hmm. How are you like rapidly educating yourself in that moment to try to handle the whatever amount of money is coming in that you may have never ever experienced before?
Yeah, to me, that's the scariest thing I've dealt with is money, since being on the show and learning like what credit cards are. I had 1 credit card before the show. Now I have like 5, but it's like understanding like how to use them, how, putting a budget on yourself, all these things that matter, and how to invest your money and where to do it, all these things, taxes, accounting, all this stuff. I'm like, man, it's scary, because I went through, my dad was a builder, and when the 09 crash happened and all of real estate in Florida went to crap, he lost a lot, and so I've lived through it. And to me, I don't want to live through it again. It's a scary thing. So I'm trying to be very strategic, very smart, trying to create more opportunities with my money and see where that goes. But that's definitely the scariest thing out of all of it.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had Damon John on the show yesterday from Shark Tank, and he obviously founded FUBU. And he talked about when FUBU exploded and he's getting like $30 million deposits. He's like, I'm trying to compete with every rapper that I'm dressing. And I almost went bankrupt 3 times. Yep. And it's funny to hear you as a young guy talking about like the complete opposite. I want to save. I want to be smarter. And it's fun. It's interesting how your dad's experience helped influence you into making those decisions rather than buying like $300,000 necklaces,
No, exactly. And my dad, he's a great resource. Well, he's a very conservative resource. He's always like telling me like, I'm looking at all these housing deals, all this stuff. I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want that. He's like, I don't know. That's a little expensive for this area. He's the one kind of makes me pump the brakes a lot, which I'm thankful for. But at the same time, I'm like chomping on the bit because I want to make deals happen. I want to learn, But he's helped me right now with a few projects right now that we're going to get going on. And we're building 3 spec homes in Jupiter. So I'm excited for that.
I know you've been asked a million times about your current girlfriend, so I'm not going to ask that. But what I do want to understand is dating you. Do you ever kind of look at it from your standpoint and think what she has to go through or anybody would have to go through because of who you are?
And we've struggled with that at times. I didn't realize how much of a toll it takes on her. The like when we're walking down the street and fans come up, they kind of push her out of the way and or just give her the phone, take a picture. You know what I mean? Which is like I'm not just a wall. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm a person too. And so I didn't, it took me a little minute to understand that and then realize that for her. And so now it's just navigating that differently, and it's also like trying to make time, with all the stuff that's going on, because entertainment, your job is not a 9 to 5, your job is a 9 to, 8 to end of the night,
It's endless. It's honestly endless.
So it doesn't end. So it's finding time to be intentional with her. It's also like making sure she feels, her worth when she's out with me and all that stuff,
So one of the big reasons I started this show, Tyler, was because I wanted to talk to successful people from all genres about the mentalities and principles that help make them successful. So my question to you is, what are the habits and the mentality that you incorporate to continue to elevate every day in your life?
Yeah, discipline is huge. Discipline is how, you become 1% better every day. What's it called? Alex Husan. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a big time Peloton rider here. He says discipline will carry you when motivation won't, and as long as you stay disciplined, if your motivation is lacking one day, you'll still carry out the task you need to carry out, and you'll still get better every day. So that's definitely one of those things that, like, I try to be very disciplined. I try to always, I don't need to be going out all the time. I do what I have to do, and I kind of build a routine and a schedule, and I'll stick to it. And that's kind of what helps me stay successful.
It's awesome, man. Congrats on the new book. This has been awesome, brother. It's called You Deserve Better. And you've done some really cool shit, man. Congrats on really riding the wave.
You'll have to get up at the West Village sometime, man.
Dude, let's do it.
I'll reach out. I'll reach out. We'll get dinner or something one of these days.
I would love to, man. It's funny because I was here for years and I moved out, then just moved back in. I'm like, I never leave here. I literally roll out of bed, hit my bars. I'm at the Spaniard or I'm at Due West, and I'm just like, man, everything's at my fingertips here. I love
West Village, man. Yeah, my buddy's got a good restaurant over there. You got to try Flip Siggy.
Oh, yeah, right on 7th.
Yep, that's my guy. It's an awesome spot.
Yeah, let's definitely grab drinks sometime, man. I'd love to catch up and talk offline.
I appreciate you, man. It was great. Thank you for having me. Thanks for promoting the book, all that. It means the world.
My pleasure, man. You deserve better. Everyone buy. Congrats on everything, Tyler.
You have a good one.
You too, brother. Talk to you.